In 2004, Stuck in the Suburbs set a new standard for Disney Channel original movies as the first to come accompanied with its own soundtrack. Despite never reaching the same level of popularity as High School Musical, the franchise that perfected this formula just 2 years later. And that is very relatable, since the same year my high school rival became more popular than me, despite the fact that I popularized the trend of using Stridex acne wipes on my buttocks. What smells like rubbing alcohol? Oh, just these dry, flaky cheeks, mama. Let it snow. Following the story of two teens who discover that they can control their favorite pop star after procuring his cell phone, this movie was largely swept under the rug despite having a unique concept, cast of soon-to-be household names, and vocals from the same singer who would go on to voice Troy Bolton. So why the lukewarm reception? Perhaps it's the rushed 75-minute runtime, the sleepwalking story beats, or the fact that several musical montages about friendship are used to disguise the fact that there was clearly no choreographer on the set. I'm pretty sure at one point, instead of actual dance steps, they just do a bunch of high fives. Like, this is Disney Channel. We can't pay someone to teach a pas de bourrée to the patty cake kids over here. Okay, it's time to extort a celebrity and hack some private data in a 21st century installment of Clip Breakdown. Hello television viewers, my name is Nick. Thank you so much for joining me once again on my channel for another installment of Clip Breakdown. This is the playlist where we dive into our favorite movies, TV movies, and other content here on the web, and we deconstruct it like a modular home to say that one deserves to be a part of the homeowners association, or that clip makes me want to expel them from the lawn care society. We don't know what we're talking about at this part of the video always. But today we're diving into Stuck in the Suburbs, which is an iconic movie and it is a historical event, because if it weren't for this movie, we wouldn't have High School Musical or The Descendants or Teen Beach Movie or any of the now classic movies that we enjoy. This movie cracked the iTunes code for Disney Channel, and that's crucial to their whole profit system now. Music streams, that is. But before we get into it, make sure you give this video a big thumbs up if you want to see even more clip breakdowns on Disney Channel original movies like this one. Ka-ching! But also, if you're new to my channel, I would love to have you click that subscribe button right over here. That way you never miss new videos from me. I upload 2 new ones every week, so turn on notifications and you'll always be the first to know when we've got a fresh new model home for you and your family to explore. Low mortgage rates. Okay, so some quick background. This movie includes Brenda Song, Danielle Panabaker, and Taran Killam. Danielle Panabaker, I just saw, because I rewatched the movie The Crazies a lot of the time, and she's in that one, loved it. Brenda Song, friend of the channel. I mean, not really, but we've looked at her videos on this channel before, so she's my friend, parasocially. And then Taran Killam, who went on to be a star on Saturday Night Live and had a big movie and TV career after that. But this is way before any of those days when you can tell the budget is a little smaller. Chunky highlights! How is nobody talking about the fact that these producers scalped the hair off of 2004 Kelly Clarkson in order to make Taran's wig? When I think of the name Taran Killam, I can only hear it in the SNL announcer voice. Taran Killam! The movie opens with our main character, Brittany, and her friends being driven home from soccer practice by one of their moms. The talking and the sound is already weird in this movie for me.
No way. Those are so cute. I love those. Did you order them? Those are so cute. You're so lucky. Those are so cute. Where did you get those? So officially.
Brittany, I know that there are a lot of people improvising at you right now, but maybe if you could just answer one of their questions, they can all stop repeating themselves. That girl next to her is like, those are so cool. I love how cool those are. Don't you think it's cool how cool I think it is? Oh, they need more? Those are shoes. Shoe is cool. Cool, cool shoe. I don't know why the sound designer actually left that little lull in it in when the director was like, more, we need more. Either way, they're trying to establish here that these are little boxes on the hillside that all look the same.
Okay, Brittany, this is your stop. Not unless we got a new front door and they changed the street numbers. Well, is this anybody's house?
No.
I mean, it used to be where Monica lived, but we were told not to talk about her again after she got pregnant and moved to Vermont. The mom is like, well, why don't you get out anyway, Brittany, and get some steps in? Because I have a headache from our Bridge Club martinis and everyone is shrieking about your flip-flops right now. They got this mom wrapped around her finger because they're like, oh, it's almost 5. We gotta watch the TV. So they all rush into Brittany's house to watch this thing on TV. And I would be like, if you kids don't get back in that car, I'm gonna drive us into a Toys R Us.
Make a wish on a dream. Give it time, you will see. There is nothing impossible when you
They said 3-point turn to the right, clap. Remember, for a Disney Channel movie at the time, this choreography was basically step up to the streets. You better clear out some of these Ashley home store furnishings because the soccer team just pulled up and they're ready to turn the stunts on your wall-to-wall carpeting, Mom. The little brother in this gives me creepy vibes from Frame 1. Don't ask me why that child just f***ed his sister's carpool driver, or why his mom acts like that's a normal thing for an 8-year-old to do. I would grab that kid by the shoulders and be like, what is wrong with you? Why were you smiling at Nana's funeral? You are not my son. But you know, I'm a kooky parent, so I tell you one thing I would not put up with is all of this.
Oh my God. Hi, Mom. I'm so sorry. We'll fix it.
We'll fix it.
Fine.
Oh, we're gonna clean
But it'll be pretty now. Okay? Yeah. We won't do it again. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry.
You girls need to get it together when you all speak as a group, because apparently the sound editor is not gonna do you any favors when it comes to these awkward improvisations. We're gonna make it pretty again. I mean, what? In film, they sometimes refer to that as walla, when it's like just a group noise that you're not supposed to hear any distinctive words, like walla, 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 walla. But when they do it here, it's like such a small group and so sparse that you can hear everything everyone is saying and none of it really makes sense. Also, if me and my friends ever stood on the couch and then tipped it over while giggling hand in hand, we would be sent to live in a Victorian workhouse. Not this Barnum and Bailey's behavior, children. We get a little bit of detail on the family. The brother likes video games, the older sister is a super nerd, and then we have Brittany, who loves music and she's sensitive. The mom finds her lyrics that are all about hating, you know, her same old boring life. And Brittany's like, well, whatever. I mean, every day we do the same thing. And the mom's like, well, you can help me rescue this old house. And she's like, that's okay, Mom. Why don't you just shut the f up and close my door on the way out? Oh, also, all of the phones start going off, and conveniently, the friends of Brittany are like, Jordan Cahill is going to be shooting a music video right down the street from us. It just happens to be down the street from these girls who are super fans. Like, that felt a little crazy and rushed to me. Like, maybe they could have been like, you have to convince your mom or your sister to drive us. Like, later on, the sister has to give them a ride everywhere. So maybe they could be like, convince your sister to drive us to wait outside the studio. Something a little more realistic. Anyway, life sure is busy when you're a busy mom with busy kids and a family. That's why we make Tyson Anytizers or whatever.
Check the counter next to the phone.
I can't find my karate uniform.
Okay, check the dryer.
Help! Broken!
We get it, mornings are busy. Why does every kids movie make it seem like going to school is the first scene of Saving Private Ryan? American TV is so excited to embrace the stereotype that family life is a stressful, never-ending marathon. That's not gonna make me wanna have kids. I'm not even gonna babysit your child unless he's borderline young Sheldon, picking out his clothes the night before, not drowning in the bathtub on his own. And I don't want any creative kids either. It's gonna be a big problem if someone starts singing and dancing, trying to upstage me. No ma'am, into the chokey with you. I do like these little parts that sell how basically Brittany feels like put upon by the sameness of her house and all of her friends.
And I found your shoes.
You can't. You see, they're only from this one little store in New York.
Well, that little store has a website. Oh, I want to get some too. We'll all match. Brittany, isn't that so cool?
Brittany just invented being an influencer. Them chickens jocking her style. This is just like in 3rd grade when my friend Jeff started wearing the same Hawaiian print shirts as me. That's when I realized it can sometimes be a challenge to live life as a fashion icon, you know, to be an artist who expresses themselves through style. And that's what makes me the prettiest show horse at the stable. Oh, please, Papa, don't turn me into glue. I just know I can win the high jump medal. Nay! Sorry, that was some past life regression. I think it's intriguing for a Disney movie to explore the idea of a teenager at the age where she wants to establish her individuality while all of her friends are still embracing sameness. It's that interesting period of being a teenager where, you know, fitting in is still a big priority, and yet so is establishing yourself as different from everybody else. It can be confusing, but it's even harder for Brittany when a new girl comes to school, Natasha, who seems to have everything Brittany wants.
I've been living in Europe off and on for the last couple of years. Guess I'm not up to the latest trends. Apparently ponytails are back. I'll have to make a note of that.
And that's how you take your new schoolmates to class before the bell rings, darling. Natasha just figuratively dragged them by their ponytails to the nurse's office for an ice pack. She said, I'm not here to make friends. I'm here to say that I lived in Europe and imply that your hairstyle is tacky. Later on, Natasha's mom is like, she can have trouble making friends because she's shy. I'm like, she's also just a little mean. At least making first impressions might be a little bit of a challenge too. So throughout the rest of the day, Brittany and Natasha are becoming fast friends. Although you can tell that Brittany is trying a little hard to come across as cool, you know, playing down her obsession with Jordan and with all of the things that her other friends are doing. She's sort of like, oh, he's okay, but everybody else is in love with him. And it's like, baby, you literally want to climb inside that man's mouth and roll around like it's a big top. Don't you lie. She like has to rip down all her posters and stuff before Natasha comes home after school. I think they do an adequate job of explaining how basically Brittany's trying to alter her personality a little to seem cool for Natasha. It's a very relatable thing, especially for young people, teenagers, so I like that they build this into the story. I feel like most of my problems with the script come towards the third act when they really short us. Brittany convinces Natasha to go down the street to the like kind of music video shoot, and that's when we get our first glimpse of Jordan in the flesh. Me seeing the Babadook at a pride parade. Who in the Jeepers Creepers put this Children of the Corn, Malachi's Revenge hat on his head?
Love that hat. Picked out that hat. The hat works.
The hat works where? In a leprechaun field? In a reboot of Clockwork Orange? They got Jordan Cahill up on the set of his own music video looking like he's about to tell me what sort of swords are the most powerful. Ew, this is how school shooters see themselves in their dreams. They said maybe Jordan dresses like Kane from Poltergeist 2. Oh, while we're here, ban automatic weapons. Gun control now. Keep our kids safe, for God's sake. Jordan like walks off the set of this video because he feels like this new song is the same, the video concept is the same as what he's been doing in the past. Oh, come out and sing. Two girls come in midway through. I do a hair flip. So this little insight lets us know that Jordan is obviously fed up with where his career is creatively right now.
Raisins. I'm not a big fan of raisins.
No problem. Just go ahead and spit that back into the bowl on the craft services table for the rest of the crew to enjoy. I'll go find you some more stainless steel jewelry to suck on. Jordan's friend Eddie is like his childhood pal who is now kind of his assistant, I guess.
Please remember to download all my files.
It's a disc. I know. You tell me the same thing every day for like 6 months.
I'm sorry, man. It's just my whole life is on that thing.
I got your back, man.
Thanks, man.
Suppose I want to download everything from a handheld to a disc?
Well, I mean, don't ask one of the background actors. They're not authorized to respond verbally for budgetary reasons. Also, I'm glad we never had to experience the dark timeline where we as a society continued calling those handhelds rather than smartphones. It doesn't make any sense. You know what else is handheld? Most sandwiches. So you can see how that would have gotten confusing. And an exciting turn of plot convenience. Natasha and Brittany are waiting for Jordan at the stage doors and Eddie bumps into them. Oops, he picked up the phone so quick that his brain didn't have a chance to signal that it was a completely different size, shape, and color. I'm not saying that that can't happen, but I am saying, can I use that as an excuse when I get caught shoplifting from the Apple store? Oh, is that one of the display models? So sorry, I thought it was my iPhone 3. On their walk home, Brittany realizes somebody has switched phones with her, but she doesn't know it's Jordan's yet. But they saw that it was one of Jordan's people because he got onto the tour bus. So they go to the only nice hotel in town where they have to be staying. This movie was actually shot in New Orleans. So already I'm like, wait, so this music video crew literally drove out to the middle of nowhere to shoot that music video that was in a cool location in New Orleans. This movie was actually shot in New Orleans. There's a lot to take in that Plaza d'Italia. So they get the sister to drive them to the hotel, but they get sent away basically because Eddie's like, I want to get those groupies out of here. And it's not until they're just about to leave that he realizes, they're not lying. They have Jordan's phone.
Oh no! What was that?
I don't see anything.
But you did hear a human body hit your back windshield, right? Lawyers of watching this, would this be considered a hit and run? Because it seems like the kids in this movie get away with a lot of crimes simply by not acknowledging the existence of laws in the first place. Pretty much from here on out, the cell phone plot device that this whole movie hinges on fails to make sense. The kids drive away and Eddie's like, no, I missed my chance, I have my phone. And then he has no way of getting back in touch with them somehow, even though it just showed Brittany calling her own phone from Jordan's phone multiple times, so Eddie could just like return that call. There's also this bloated plot point where Eddie talks to the record label guy and is like, do you have Jordan's phone number? No, he changes it so much, who can keep track? Well, I mean, you guys are his managers, so you should be keeping track. Also, doesn't Eddie have his own phone with the number saved? Like, why is this even in the movie? Because we don't even see a solution to it. Somehow, Eddie gets a hold of Jordan's phone number without looking into the call log or without finding it in a way that we see. But first he has to make up an excuse for Jordan being like, oh yeah, I've still got your phone, I'm gonna download it all to disk, no worries. And we got a little bit of character development additionally about Jordan's dissatisfaction with his career.
Look, I mean, 3 years ago, you were singing in your basement, and I was backing you up. You got everything you ever wanted.
Is this what I wanted?
Hashtag free Britney, hashtag free Britney. I wish they could have used this moment to give us a little bit more color for Eddie's character. He's like, oh, I used to sing backup. I wish they could have established like, and then you made it big, or like we were in a band together, but the record only wanted you to be famous and now I'm helping you. Like show that Eddie's dream was never to be the assistant, because we don't really ever get that in an explicit way. So we kind of have a weak payoff later when something else happens that I'll discuss. Brittany and Natasha are still trying to figure out who owns this fancy phone they found.
I used to have one just like it when I lived in Madrid.
And my dad won't even let me have Spanish rice because he thinks it's too spicy.
Girl, just trust him on that, okay? His ancestors were Welsh and English. He tried chicken with seasoning salt once and it gave him ulcers for a year. Finally, Brittany and Natasha get a call from Brittany's phone, who, you know, we know it's Eddie. The phone things. I'm sick of the phone things. But we haven't even started to phone conversation in this piece, okay?
Just return it, there'll be no questions.
I didn't steal your phone. I tried to bring it back and I got yelled at.
This is the only time in the movie that a character will break the fourth wall when it goes to a split screen. Probably because if they repeated that gag, it would quickly draw attention to the fact that this movie is 85% phone calls. Like, baby, you better have unlimited nights and weekends or you're in trouble. Put Jordan on your top 8 or whatever. What was that? Your 5 faves?
So if anybody's stealing, it's you.
Oh, hey, calm down.
I am calm.
I was just afraid about it falling into the wrong hands.
The wrong hands? It's just a phone.
Seriously, was this the only way we could think to show phone calls on screen for kids? Because the 7-second delay between the left and right sides of the screen sent me directly to the uncanny valley. The same thing happened with Brenda's song in Wendy Wu Homecoming Warrior. All of the split screen phone calls were like they were talking over each other with this long gap in between. It doesn't need to be this way. Right away, these girls don't seem hyper motivated to get Jordan's phone back because they hang up on Eddie as soon as Madonna calls and they're like, oh my God, we're talking to Madonna. And then they go on to brag about it the very next day. These girls do not play it cool.
I just don't think you know Madonna. That was me caring for 1 second what you think.
Oh, okay, because it literally looked like you were pooping into a diaper. She really thought she served them by stopping mid-conversation to make that gassy baby face. Aw, Gassy Baby would be such a pretty name. Gassy Babby. Classically Gabby. Gassily Babby. So that day at school, they speak to Eddie again, and he's like, okay, so you figured out that it's Jordan's phone by now. Whatever, just when are you gonna give me the phone back? The girls start wilding out right away. They're like, we'll give you the phone back when we can talk to Jordan, and it's like, that's not allowed. You don't get to do that. Just give them the phone back or you're stealing. Now we go back to the plot point about this old house that needs to be renovated, which for me, I just don't think there's enough personal connection between the main character and the house. It's never really much more than something the mom wants. By the way, I'm wearing the new Fenty Beauty Gloss Bomb Heat. Ooh, lip plumper. It's got this little cherry color to it that I think makes me a music video model, right?
This place is so cute. An island of hope in a sea of sameness.
Unless my mom can generate some serious community awareness, next week it'll be a gas station and a coffee place.
Wait, are you exaggerating or are those the actual construction timelines? And if so, can I have the number to your contractor? I'm looking for someone who can quickly reinforce the walls of the dirt hole that I sleep in. It keeps caving in a little and then I wake up having eaten like 6 earthworms and it completely ruins breakfast. But that's life in the hole. Again, it's really not clear to me exactly what the mechanics of saving this house are. Like, I guess it's not a private residence. I assume it's like some sort of historical, or they want to achieve historical landmark status for it, but that's never never mentioned. The mom is just like, we gotta save it. Save it!
Honk to save Ashbrook House.
Come on, people. Every honk pays for 1 year of property tax on this condemned building. They need to make it make a little more sense for me. Is it a petition that they need 10,000 signatures on, or they need to raise $20,000 so that they can pay the taxes to keep it open for a year, or they need this much money so the historical society can turn it into a museum? I'm not gonna just pretend like they need to brush the dust off the house and that requires honking. Make it make sense. Also, I accept that Brittany doesn't see this house as an island of hope in a sea of sameness like she wrote about, and I like that that's something she comes around to by the end of the movie. However, it would still be nice if she had some connection to this house that the mom could bring up and be like, you know, we had your first communion at this house, or like, here's a photo of your father and I at your first picnic. That's, you know, we always knew we would have this place to raise you. Then she could grow to appreciate it later. And it seems like the mom has always a bunch of hobbies that she's always caught up in, and she's sort of a local activist. So that makes this feel even less special to me. Like if this were the one thing that the family needed to care about, you know? They get a notification on Jordan's phone that he's going in for his hair appointment. And I'm just like, why isn't he leaving this damn town? He shot the music video. So Natasha calls the hair salon pretending to be Jordan's assistant and messes things up.
And remember, he only eats raisins.
I don't know where this comes from because Natasha definitely wasn't in the room when Jordan said he wasn't a fan of raisins. Maybe he had a hit single out the summer before called Wet Grapes Only. And I think it went like this. The summer sun is reinstated. I need my grapes to be fully hydrated. No dried fruit for me. It's the summer of wet grapes only. The summer of wet grapes only. I would buy that song. Natasha sets up some other physical comedy for Jordan by telling the stylist that she can't look him in the eyes, has to kneel when she talks to him. Oh, and that he wants all of his hair cut off. But she's sure that that won't actually happen.
What have you done?
Thanks, Mom.
I'm being serious. Was this movie sponsored by the California Raisin Advisory Board? Were they looking for a new gig after their little claymation band broke up? We can't pretend that this jump cut didn't feel a little forced. I'm supposed to believe that this kid asked for a huge tub of raisins to go with his spaghetti. That's raising some questions with me. Raisins are a healthy and delicious snack. Hashtag crazy for raisies.
There's no way I got one wrong. Check it again. And so he did, and I was right. So he had to raise my grade and lower everyone else's.
I'm so proud of you, Glasses daughter. You know what? I'm gonna get you a tub of raisins too, to celebrate. Enough, Mom. Force feeding us grapes doesn't normalize your wine consumption. I don't know where you even got that logic. Throughout the movie, the little brother is shown hiding in Brittany's room and spying and getting a lot of secret gossip about her life. So he, at this point, knows that she has Jordan's phone, and he's kind of like threatening to tell on her throughout the movie.
I want to get one of those new ones with TV reception and internet access.
Okay, clearly someone on this crew used to work in commercials, because in this shot, the kid looks like he's about to bite into a perfectly styled forkful of Betty Crocker yellow cake. If you watch just the glamour shots of kids biting into food from TV commercials, it's the most unsettling thing ever. Like, do those wide, wet-looking eyes and huge grins really inspire positive emotions in some people? I guess.
And that makes me feel
3 breadsticks.
Nothing sells happiness like an extreme close-up and an unhinged smile. You think some kid with 2 twinkling eyeballs will work on me? I could get a pet tarantula and have 4 times as many shiny eyeballs for a fraction of the price. Also, not to brag, but I feel like my own eyes twinkle enough as it is, so I could just look in the mirror. Here's how kids eat in commercials. Like, are you fucking serious? They actually have this type of lighting throughout Stuck in the Suburbs, just like really bright highlights in the eyes. Like they do a special or a softbox or something to make sure those kids' eyes always look really bright. On some sets, they'll even have a special eye light that's just there to give you that reflection in the eye. Also, when you're commercial acting and they're really tight in on your face, the amount of overacting you have to do is insane because you can't use your body language to express that you're happy. Like if you see this much of me, I can smile, like I can use my hands to show you with my body like that I'm having a positive emotion. But when you're just closed in on here and you have to eat a bite of mac and cheese and show that you're the happiest and most delighted you've ever been, you literally have to be like, like imagine having to hold your head like this for the camera and now take a bite of the mac and cheese. Smile huge. That's what actors have to do. It's crazy. You feel crazy when you have to do it. Try it. Put yourself in an extreme close-up and try to be happy. Ooh. That's a lot. While Brittany is here thinking like, oh yeah, my little prank on Jordan's not gonna go anywhere, this is the news that comes on TV.
Golden Mane is gone. Let's hope his fans don't go with it. No word yet from Jordan's record company or management.
I think we'll all remember where we were on that day when the same breaking news came on every network that Jordan Cahill's weird stringy strands had been washed and cut. Back at the hotel or wherever, Jordan's team is all like, oh my God, I can't believe this happened. And weirdly, nobody gets blamed for this. Like they're like, oh, it's nobody's fault. It's like, well, I mean, wouldn't the hairstylist be like, your assistant called me and told me you wanted this all done? No one seems to care about that.
It's just hair. It'll grow back. This is how I used to wear it.
Before you were famous, the hair was the money.
Okay, fine, but you have to call the dog breeder and source another golden retriever to be my hair extension donor. Not once before this had the hair been mentioned as like an integral part of his brand. Wouldn't it have been funny if like this song he was writing and recording the music video for was all about like, my hair is so long and I feel free as my hair. Oh, Lady Gaga. I'm as free as my hair. He should just be Lady Gaga. That would fix this whole movie. If we could have had any sort of news or exposition telling us that, oh, we love his hair, his long hair is so gorgeous, I just want to touch it and pull it. Or like if one of the fans could have grabbed at his hair and he's like, don't touch the hair, please. So the moneymaker or whatever. They never mentioned it once, so it starts to feel like this movie is giving us these conflicts and points and story things that were never really earned, that I'm just supposed to assume because it's that generic of a story concept. Like these all feel like things we've seen in other movies or sitcoms. But anyway, the record guy is like, well, we're gonna rebrand you, we'll reshoot the video, it's all about unveiling your new look. So there you go, everyone's happy, no one cares how this happened.
Half of my career has been about my hair, and now it can be about me and my music. Thanks for giving me the push I needed. You're a good friend.
Because if there's one thing Jordan seems to have really appreciated throughout this movie, it's other people making decisions on how he looks without consulting him. You know how he was just complaining about that same thing in scene number 1? Eddie really lucked out by being best friends with someone who never once questions a single solitary thing that happens to him. Even in this scene, he's like, oh, do you have my phone back? And Eddie gives him a decoy phone that he bought, but it doesn't turn on. So Eddie's like, oh, I'm so sorry, I forgot to charge it. Let me go charge up for you. So he buys a little bit more time there with Jordan. Meanwhile, while snooping through somebody else's phone, Brittany comes across his lyrics folder, but he doesn't have the password. Luckily, the little brother's hiding under the bed and helps her.
You're in.
He uses his birthday?
Nah, he's over 14. Everyone over 14 just uses the factory setting.
First of all, I'm not sure this logic even holds up. Wouldn't an adult be more concerned with security since they have money? Also, how would a 10-year-old just automatically know the factory setting password for the Palm Trio 300? Damn it, I should have saved my young Sheldon reference for this kid. I can't believe I failed you like this. I was really hoping I would never have to use this table's eject button, but here we are. It's been an honor to serve you. The next day, Natasha and Brittany are talking about how they really got Jordan's haircut, and it's crazy.
See, the Jordan we see isn't the real Jordan. They're forcing him to do all this stuff.
They?
His people, like that guy who won't give me my phone back.
That's an interesting take on what's actually happening, because I'm pretty sure it's you who won't give him his phone back until he lets you speak to Jordan. Look, I know there's no guidebook on how to be a blackmailing teenager, because if there was, I would still be on the payroll at Dunkin' Donuts, with a strawberry culotta in one hand, and my screenshots of a Facebook conversation with one particular franchise owner in the other. But I'm not that suave. I just took the culotta and ran. I just took the beverage and ran. That's my main issue, the beverages. So after reading Jordan's personal lyrics that hadn't been adulterated by the evil music company, she knows exactly who the real Jordan is. And I guess from these song lyrics can decide what his real style is, and she can make all of these changes to his brand just using his phone. But to me, I'm like, if she has the power to just use Jordan's phone to make all these important changes to his image, then wouldn't Jordan have had that power using his own phone too? Like, wasn't he just not speaking up? How come she can suddenly make all of these changes without a problem and she's not even him?
So Operation Save Jordan was launched. Of course, there's no reason I couldn't make a few positive changes of my own.
Do you think suddenly adding narration to the movie is a positive change? Or is it just a lazy, distracting way to give us the prerequisite musical montage that pads out the second act of all Disney Channel movies? You can all be the judge.
It's a good life.
Those must be some explicit lyrics she's writing, since they all had to be completely censored. The song is like, close the door while I fuck 'em, pussy hot like an oven, might be stuck in the suburbs, but a bitch is above it. Like, okay, Brittany. So we get this montage to the Good Life song, and we see like, oh, not only is Brittany overcoming her writer's block a little bit, but also they've changed Jordan's wardrobe. They've allowed him to get his 2 dogs back on set. We heard him talking about how he doesn't like his clothes that he's wearing sometimes. Maybe, but we definitely didn't hear him say anything about his 2 dogs. Like, just a word about the dogs that he misses, and someone from the record company being like, oh, we can't bring them on tour, so close up your vocal cords or whatever. It would be cool to see if this be a payoff there. Also, this montage is just so confusing.
Please, please,
No.
please,
No.
please.
No.
Over how many days does this whole sequence take place? Because it seems like Jordan should be asking for his phone that's been charging this whole time. Also, I love how when they were recording this song, they asked Jesse McCartney to sound as much like an electric guitar as he could. So why y'all tripping, a good light dripping away? Why do you sound like when a toaster falls in the bathtub?
So why y'all tripping, the good life's slipping away.
They're kind of glossing over how Jordan suddenly has more time for fun and freedom in his life. Like, is Brittany using his phone to schedule more frisbee golf time into his schedule? This part literally doesn't make sense to me. And also, like, it's unearned. Like, we never heard Jordan be like, I haven't had a day off to play frisbee golf like we used to do in the old days. Like, all of this could be part of it. Also, how is Brittany realizing from reading his phone, like, oh, he misses frisbee golf? Like, we're not getting any of this info. In the movie, I know I always complain about movies being too long, but this time it's too short. Like, we have time for all of this. They just chose to ignore it. Maybe I'm watching some like shortened TV editor's version of it. I don't know. Great, now he's dressed like your friend's little brother who's really into Chris Angel Mind Freak. Everything about Jordan's new style says Target Fall Collection 2004. I feel personally victimized by the dress shoes with the bootcut jeans and screen printed thermal, aka exactly the outfit I would wear to Chili's after the winter show choir performance. This record label guy is starting to get suspicious, and apparently he's the only one.
Thought you'd get away with this. I wasn't gonna even notice.
It wasn't us, I swear. Besides, remember I said I wasn't this smart?
So then who does this guy think is orchestrating all of the changes to Jordan's image? Big Brother? If Jordan and Eddie are both saying that they have nothing to do with the new fashion and the new lyrics and the dogs, wouldn't that just raise more questions about where it's all coming from? You know, aside from the back to school aisle at Walmart. But that's okay, because despite all of this criminal, mischievous activity, Brittany is really connecting with her artistic side.
Did you really like it, Tasha? Because it totally just came to me.
I'm serious. I loved it.
Well, usually it takes me forever to write a song, but this one...
No, I like the part where you said through the open door.
Yeah.
It's totally great.
Natasha is on the other end of this phone call having her own subplot where she experiments with diet pills because she's speaking a little rapidly. No, it's great. I love it. No, I love the part where you say that it's an open door and you love it. Girl, the phone calls in this movie are crazy. For such a short movie, I'm bored. This movie sucks to me, but that's okay. The mom is having this separate conversation about the house that she's trying to save. Oh, you don't care about that part? Speak of the devil. Me either.
That house is the last thing that makes our little corner of suburbia the least bit unique.
And even then, it's sort of just a slightly different house. The more this mom desperately tries to stop this house from being torn down, the more I'm starting to suspect she might have something to do with all of those missing Boy Scouts from the 80s. We gotta dig up this basement. Again, maybe if this house had like a community garden in the front where the mom like, oh, she has met so many friends and it's where her daughter used to pick blueberries. And for their birthday every year, they would have blueberry cobbler. Like all of those little details that they could bring back in a cinematic way as like, our life is better when the house is here. There's no stakes. What changes when the house goes away? Nothing. What happens when Brittany gives the phone back? Nothing. That's the other thing is like, Brittany never really is at risk of getting in trouble for stealing this phone and manipulating somebody. She never has any consequences for that. If like someone evil from the record company could be chasing her down and like following her, then we would feel this like, ooh, there's an antagonistic force coming after her who wants to keep Jordan the same. Well, now we have this conflict that comes in halfway through, because when Brittany overhears the mom saying that, she's like, oh, I get it. The house is a piece of hope in this same town where everything is the same. But again, it doesn't really reek of like a personal thing for Brittany. Like, who cares? There's also this moment the next day where where basically Brittany starts bragging to her friend. She's like, I've got a plan to get Jordan to come sing at my mom's house rally. And while she's bragging about that to her friends, we kind of see Natasha being excluded in the background. And I was like, this is a very rushed third act conflict where like, oh, she's turning her back on her new friend. Or I'm like, you kind of turned your back on your old friends before this, so who cares? So she gets on the phone with Eddie and she's like, you have to have Jordan come sing at this event on Saturday to save this house, and that's when I'll give you the phone back. So the mom is all excited, being like, you're gonna get a celebrity to sing at my event? Oh, I hate the conspicuously slow hand movements that happen when the camera is following a close-up. Like when somebody picks up a spoon and the camera's following it, they're like, like, okay. I remember I had to do that once. I was doing this scene for a film class where I put a coffee cup down. No, what was it? Yeah, I put a coffee cup down and the camera had to follow me set the cup down. So I had to do it like 3 times because I was like, okay, Samantha, we'll see how you feel about that. And then they're like, too fast, do it slower. Okay, Samantha, you'll see how you feel about that. It's tough to make it look natural. This other part of the movie comes in where it's like, oh, are you sure Jordan's gonna want to perform on Saturday when his girlfriend Penelope just broke up with him? And that's when Brittany freaks out. She's like, I can't believe Jordan's girlfriend broke up with him because of that. And I'm like, we haven't even seen this girlfriend. We haven't seen him not get along with the girlfriend. We don't know that the girlfriend's not good for him. He just hasn't picked up her phone calls in a few days. And apparently that's the only way she can get in touch with him. Wouldn't she be worried? The fact that we can see this bowl of ice cream is just a piece of cardboard with whipped cream on top is the reason that I make these videos. I don't even know what I mean by that, but it's still weirdly true. So finally, Brittany is like a little nervous that she caused this breakup, so she goes over to Natasha's house where she gets some tea spillage from the mom.
He's been traveling lately, mostly around Buffalo. Stationery sales keep him on the road all the time.
I've been living in Europe off and on for the last couple of years.
What's my mom?
Mom, this is Natasha. She's from New York.
The city had a certain je ne sais quoi, tons of concerts, and the most amazing shopping. I used to have one just like it when I lived in Madrid.
The editor of this movie said, attention, Natasha is a messy liar and I've got all the receipts to prove it. I think I could have actually made the connection without channel surfing through every speaking line she's had up until this point. But then again, I'm not a preteen. That's just how much money I spend on fruit-scented body glitter. The girls kind of start blaming each other for making a mess of Jordan's life.
I should have never listened to you. I should have just given the phone back when I wanted to.
Oh, like this is all my fault?
What is going on here?
Was anyone fucking talking to you, Mrs. Quan Schwartz? Just stay in your own lane. There's probably some hamburger helper stroganoff downstairs that needs some occasional stirring. So Brittany rushes out of Natasha's house and really has to stop and think about their friendship in general.
Until we meet again, I think you better learn to live.
Oof, okay, another overly long flashback montage. I guess we have to advertise the track list for that Stuck in the Suburbs CD somehow. I think my favorite song off of this soundtrack is Stuck by Stacey Orrico. It's true, I'm stuck on you. Also, that other Stacey Orrico song, when I was in rehab as a 15-year-old, I listened to this song constantly because it gave me hope. I went, there's gotta be more to life, chasing down every temporary high to satisfy me, tripping up thinking there must be more to life. Oh, such a good song. Anyway, Brittany calls the guy.
I'm sorry for everything. I just wish none of this had ever happened.
I wish you told me that an hour ago. Then he wouldn't have found out that his life is being controlled by 2 teenage girls. Then he wouldn't have disappeared.
See, doesn't it seem like that would have been a more interesting scene to show us than just 2 minutes of clips from American Girl Memory Lane? I already believed in the power of friendship when I started watching this movie, okay? And these girls met 48 hours ago. Maybe we don't need this whole thing to be such a substantial part of the story. Like, why couldn't we have seen Jordan walk away from Eddie and be like, what? This moment where I found out it's all been a lie? Like, that's conflict, mama. That's drama. You gotta show me that, not like off-screen referencing it. Okay. So Eddie gets escorted off the set for ruining and losing track of his friend. And then finally, after 1,000 years, I don't know where Jordan gets the oh, he has Brittany's cell phone now. So he calls Brittany and they finally get to talk.
No, the version you wrote. kind of might have accidentally broken your password.
Not real big on boundaries, huh?
Or even on like laws, since it's illegal to steal someone's phone, information, or identity. I was just a child myself back then, but I'm pretty sure we still had laws protecting privacy. I would have had this little thief in a pair of Fisher-Price handcuffs the second she refused to return my property. To Guantanamo Bay you go. All right, we're in the home stretch, people. When Brittany gets back to her house, Natasha's waiting there and they quickly make up. That was the quickest third act conflict ever. A whole 2 minutes long.
Traveled all over the world.
And you have such great friends, and you're so good at everything you do.
You mean all those great friends that she completely ditched in the third scene of the movie? Because all we've seen of them since you stepped on the scene was jealous glances from across the lunchroom every now and then. I don't like how the friends literally disappear from the story. They could have beefed up that conflict more. Like, never once does some girl show up to Brittany and be like, wow, you missed our soccer match because you were off doing whatever with Natasha. If you don't want to be friends with us, just say that. But give us back our friendship bracelet or whatever. You can feel the scene that I'm missing. Instead, they just disappear and I'm like, so it doesn't matter what they think, never did. They could die. Not literally, but they were killed off in the story.
Actually, I think he loved everything we did. Well, except for the threats and the extortion, but pretty much everything else.
There wasn't really much else aside from the threats and extortion though. I hate that the whole plot of this movie is that, oh, the two girls get the star's cell phone so they can control everything about his life. And then everything they controlled about his life passed by in just one montage. It's like the hair, the dogs, the clothes. And we never had a chance to take in any of that as its own scene, aside from the hair. Also, the girlfriend breaking up was sort of a completely passive thing that happened because nobody answered her call. I would have loved to understand more about why that was a toxic relationship. In any Hallmark movie, you see why the bad girlfriend is a bad fit. We definitely would have had time to see that. Also, there was no escalation. Like, if they could have started him and like, oh, do you think we can get away with changing his hair? Oh my God, now let's see if we can get him to release the music video a day earlier. Oh, let's have him do this thing. Oh, that made his girlfriend break up with him and now he's gonna lose his concert, whatever. You know, like suddenly have it all sink in how it's a bad thing they did. Anyway, they run out of the house. The brother was secretly listening. They're trying to run to get to this event. I forget where they're going right now, but they have to be there fast.
Brittany?
Hi, Mrs. McDonald. Hi, Devin. Hi.
Brittany,
Yes, Mrs. McDonald?
can you babysit Thursday?
Thursday. Yeah, sure.
Someone went up to the director and was like, so I've been looking through all the footage we've shot so far, and this is gonna be a 25-minute movie if we don't start adding some stuff. The girls get on their bike and they're trying to find Jordan. Meanwhile, they're using his phone to like call all the news.
You just promised channels 7, 5, and 11 an exclusive.
Exclusive is a very relative term.
Me ruining my relationships. So all of the record company guys are trying to track down Jordan and keep him from performing at this thing. They're like, he cannot perform at this event for some reason, because apparently that would be the end of the world. Meanwhile, Jordan is enjoying his life for the first time as a normal person. Again, we never really got the feeling that he was this trapped before because we didn't spend enough time with him.
I haven't had one of these in years.
Hey, look, check it out.
I don't know about the food at Dot's Burgers, but their version of a Happy Meal is gonna give kids depression. Also, that Jordan Cahill bobblehead looks like Tom Cruise dressed as Steven Tyler for Halloween. In college, we knew a kid whose last name was Cahill, and because we were all doing drugs, we would call him K-hole, because he would get it. He loved ketamine. So anyway, the girls find Jordan because he's running from a crowd of fans. Not this slow-ass chase scene. If that girl in the green really wanted to catch Jordan, she could just grab onto one of his arcade prize necklaces and take him down. This is how it feels when you're running in a dream. You can tell they even had to speed up the camera movement to be like, this is a really slow dolly shot. Everyone running is like, oh, gonna get you. Again, it feels a little easy to me that as soon as they meet Jordan, he's like, oh, hey, Brittany, lovely to meet you, gal. Like, didn't you run away from Eddie because these girls had been controlling your life? The way Eddie put it, he got mad and disappeared. But now he's like, oh, I actually am happy that I'm finally free. It's like, there needs to be a little more conflict here where they're like, we were just trying to set you free and we know we had you break up with Penelope, but she wasn't good for you. But instead he was like, oh, I don't think that was your fault. It's like, okay, maybe if you did though, that would be an interesting thing for the kids to watch. But anyway, they go off somewhere else and Brittany and Natasha continue to save him.
All right, now the whole world has your lyrics to more than me.
And now to wrap up the final act of our masterpiece, the editor will hit copy and paste a bunch of times. I don't get it. They sent the lyrics to the song and all of these girls are like, I'm hearing it by reading it. Ah, ah. I'm hearing it by reading it. So cheap, so cheesy. The people in the car are like, Jordan released his song. Take away the lonely pain and you help me rise above the flames. Been so lost, baby, now I'm found. Okay, that's a song. The girls get a ride from the sister. She comes back in and they have to beat the record company to the Saving Ashbrook's House benefit rally.
Where's Jordan? Yeah, we want Jordan. We don't care about your stupid old house.
Yeah, it was clear where your priorities were when you got up in the middle of that haircut to come to this free concert, lady. Karen said, I've got choppy layers and I'm ready to yell at a nice mom. Meanwhile, in the car, Jordan inspires Brittany to keep writing her music and get out of this town like he did. They finally deliver Jordan to the concert, and we have this little moment here with Eddie, who is like been chasing him down with the record company. Again, it would have been great if we could have seen the weird pull that Eddie had to be making money off Jordan, where they're like, you lose your job, then you're right back to singing backup at the county fair or whatever. What's at stake for Eddie?
Fine, you do what you gotta do, but I'm gonna do what I have to do. Eddie, wait! Ladies and gentlemen, if I can have your attention for just 1 second, please.
The balcony just collapses underneath him. Ooh, this building isn't really up to code. That's kind of why we're trying to save it. But no, it's a fake out. He's like, my best friend, Jordan, Jordan, Jordan. Come watch Jordan. And so he gets up and he sings his lovely heart song. And that leads us to what? Another montage.
I never dreamed someone could see right through who I was and to all I could.
Oh, remember all of these touching moments from between 1 to 50 minutes ago? The way they tried to force entire songs into this movie without adding any choreography or extra rehearsals kind of makes every musical sequence feel like one of those friend anniversary videos that Facebook generates from you and that now stranger from college. It's like, soft dissolve from here, soft dissolve to there. Happily music singing, now we can see. But whatever, I guess that's better than a full dance number. Are you feeling entertained? And then we flash back into the future and we see that Ashbrook House husband Savid. Kind of seems like this house is actually getting in the way of people trying to enjoy the lawn. A week later and the mom is like, okay, I think I actually wanted a park. We should have just torn this down and built a park. Damn it, what am I gonna do with this house? Back to Brittany and her friends. Natasha's part of the group now. They're all on the soccer team. Brittany's talking to Jordan on the phone. She's like, I would love to come visit you in New York next week. And then in like a sort of flip on what happened in the first scene, the whole family gathers around the TV and everyone's excited. Mom, dad, everyone, to see what new thing is on the musical television. Ah, it's Peter Pettigrew. Again, there was a brief mention of Eddie being like, if you ever want to switch places, just let me know. That's not enough for me, because I could have missed it if I didn't go back and rewatch. I think it would have been better if it was like more clear that Eddie was living in the shadow of Jordan's spotlight. Also, where did Jordan go? We just get the missing phone call of him being like, I'm in New York now. Like, is he doing his own coffee house thing? He's an indie musician now. What happened to him? Now we just see that, oh, Eddie did switch places, and it's like not really an earned payoff because A, I want to know what happens to Jordan, and B, I don't really know that this is what Eddie ever wanted. He didn't seem like he was dying to be famous or was super disrespected, so just a lot of unearned stuff for a movie that had plenty of runtime left to play with.
You're the fire in my soul. Yes, you are. Oh, girl.
This is dancing. And that's all she wrote for Stuck in the Suburbs. What did you guys think about this brief, rushed, confusing, little kind of annoying little movie? I didn't care for it, but I think it's fascinating to see what the original Disney Channel original movie soundtrack looked like. It's basically 3 original songs with a bunch of pop songs kind of licensed and added in, and then a handful of those songs are crammed into the runtime of the movie, despite them not really having the coverage or the footage to make it an interesting watch. So, once they got over to doing a full original musical like they did with High School Musical, it's like, okay, now I can breathe again. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and what other DCOM musicals do we need to check out next to enjoy the following legacy of this movie? Also, give this video a big thumbs up if you want to see even more DCOM breakdowns like this, but most importantly, if you're new to my channel, I would love to have you click that subscribe button right over here. That way you never miss new videos from me. I upload 2 new ones every week, so turn on notifications if you want to be the first to know every time I got a step, touch my way into your living room. Girl. Also, I've got merch available and a Patreon where you can access exclusive benefits such as virtual watch parties and bonus episodes. You guys are all the greatest. Thank you so much for getting stuck in the suburbs with me today. I will see you next time.